You ever been to a wedding where the bride/groom didn't show? 1. Years ago in the 1980s, I played keyboards and guitar in a wedding band. One Saturday afternoon, my bandmates and I arrived at the reception hall, set up all our gear, and prepared for the wedding reception. But only the bride arrived, absent the groom. As it turned out, the groom got cold feet. He called the bride that morning to let her know the wedding was off. He didn't even have the decency to tell her in person. The jilted bride was left with a church full of guests, a decorated reception hall, a catered dinner for 150 people, a photographer, a wedding cake, and a band, all set up and ready for a reception. When the bride arrived at the reception hall, she told us and the hall staff that she wanted to go ahead and have the party anyway. After all, they had already paid for it. Her entire extended family and her friends stayed for the party. She gave a terrific speech, inviting everyone to celebrate the fact that she discovered her ex-fiancé's true character before making the mistake of marrying him. She invited everyone to eat, drink and dance, and she stayed for the entire event. I always admired that young lady for the way she handled such an awkward situation. 2. No. What I think is worse. I went to the wedding of a young woman in my office. At the end of the ceremony, as they were about to walk down the aisle to leave the church, the groom stopped and said to the bride something like, "Can't remember exact words, well, thanks for that. I only married you so I could stay in the UK. He then ran down the aisle and out of the church and the bride collapsed on the floor. The poor bride had a breakdown and ended up in a psychiatric hospital for a time. She never returned to her job. 3. I was at my buddy's wedding in Long Beach, CA, and the minister didn't show. We were busy calling around and having no luck when a hotel employee told us that a preacher was staying there for a wedding they were having that evening, and we could find him out by the pool. It turns out he was a black preacher from Alabama and this was the 70s and a lily white wedding. I don't think the bride's mother had ever even met a black man before. He laughed and said give him a couple of minutes to get changed. He was great, preached like a Southern Baptist, and had everyone rolling in the aisles laughing. It was the most entertaining wedding I had ever attended. 4. Yes. The bride. My father was the minister who was appointed to undertake the wedding service and also designated registrar. My brother was the best man. The groom a close family friend. The bride was not really known to us as she lived away from our area. We lived just up the road from the church. About 30 minutes before the service, pre-mobile phone days, our home phone rang and my mom answered it to be told by the bride herself she would not be turning up. My poor mom had to run down our road and tell my dad, who took the groom and my brother into an ante-room and broke the awful news. The groom was extremely brave and told the wedding attendants the bride had changed her mind, that he would not be going to the reception venue, but as it was all paid for, would we please all go along and enjoy the meal and eat the cake. He took my brother on the honeymoon. 5. Not exactly, but my brother was best man to his best friend. Wedding service went well. Back to the reception where the top table got seated. The bride kissed her new husband on the cheek and said she was going to the loo. She never returned. He never saw her again and they got an annulment. No one including the groom had the faintest idea what had happened.